Okay, so I figured I'd give an update, and I have the perfect way to introduce yourself to girls. The absolute best way to at least get their Instagram and at least start off with a good footing that will hopefully open the door to talk to them later. So last weekend was Fake Patty's Day here in Kent, and I decided to try this new method. What it is you go up, get their attention, pause for a split second, make sure they're paying attention to you. Tell them, oh, hey, I didn't mean to bother you, but I just had to say I thought you were beautiful or stunning or something of that nature. And then say, I was hoping I could get your Instagram. They like the compliment. They are okay with giving away their Instagram. It's a little less personal than a phone number. And so they're going to be happy, actually, to get more followers on Instagram, if nothing else. After they give you their Instagram, then you say, oh, by the way, what was your name? They give you their name, and hopefully they'll ask for yours. If they ask for yours, it means they're at least interested enough to maybe get to know you and see who you are. If they don't, then that's a sign to just move on. But either way, it's a virtually perfect way to break the ice and just start talking to someone. I used it last week 4 times, last weekend on Fake Patty's Day 4 times. Got every single girl who I talked to, I got their Instagram, and they also followed me back, and I was able to converse a little bit. Now, when it came to messages, it didn't really play out as well as I was hoping. 2 of them I haven't responded to yet, just because the feeling when I talked to them was a little bit off. I probably will send them a message. However, I decided to use the same method just the other day at the gym throughout this week, and it worked. Not only did it work, but I was able to set up a date with this girl. So very interesting. So it also works at the gym. So far, this has worked 5 out of 5 times, at least for initiating a conversation. What is a shame, though, is last week on Fake Patty's Day, it seemed to work very, very well with one of the girls I was talking to. And she talked to me for quite a bit, but so I'm not sure why she didn't respond, but you know, it is what it is. It's one of those scenarios where at least you can break down some of those barriers, put yourself out there and see what happens. So in my opinion, it's an absolutely perfect method. Now I'll talk a little bit about Fake Patties too. Fake Patties is a little bit odd. So we started off with like what they call a darty. I never knew what this was. It's a day party, so drinking during the day. So we started off at 10 a.m. and then we went until 2, 3-ish, and then it seemed like everyone wanted to start going their own way. So some of them went back and took naps and stuff, so it's like, okay. I had a lot of energy, and so I didn't want to do that. I didn't really feel like going downtown either during the day. It just was kind of weird. So then some of my other friends who weren't drinking were having a study group for physics, and I hate physics, but they were doing a study group, and so I popped into the study group. It's kind of funny. Then after that, what was good, because I popped in with that study group, they reminded me of some homework that needed to be done. And so luckily, because they did that, I got the homework done and it wasn't an issue. But if I didn't pop into that study group, I would have forgot about that. So that worked out. Then I went back out at night, and that's when I started really trying my thing. Of course, it took a long time to get in anywhere. I only went into one bar because the lines were so long. They were longer than Halloween. And, but yeah, so it was fun, but it was also like the lines were so long, and it was cold out too. So that wasn't too fun standing in line. And I wasn't wearing all of my layers because I was expecting to take my jacket off because I was wearing a green shirt, my Donny Irish green Lucky the Irish shirt, and yeah, had to. So I was only wearing a hoodie, and it was cold. But when I got into the bar, I spent probably a good amount of time just waiting to get heated back up because I was shivering. But other than that, it was fun. It was fun. So, yeah. I plan on, hopefully, the date I set up with the girl I set the date up with goes well. But I still plan on using this new thing and seeing how it goes with other girls. I mean, unless it goes really well. Because honestly, as far as experimentation, if something goes really well, I get a girlfriend, then I'll just call it, I consider it a success, and that'll be it for the experiment until something happens. But otherwise, I'll continue to use this to try to meet more girls and hopefully find one that I really hit it off with and really like. That's the ultimate goal. So yeah, I'm just happy to have something that works. One thing I would say though, when you're doing this, try to remember to do it in that order. Like, go up, get their attention, give them a compliment. Don't just go up to them and say, "Oh, hey, they don't care. You're someone new to them. You're just some stranger who's coming up to them, intruding on their space, bothering them, whatever." Even if they are out to meet people, they don't know you, so they don't want you to try to get all of the attention, if that makes sense. They want you to pay them attention. And so give them attention, give them a compliment, start off with that. Do nice things that are going to make them like you, and then hopefully they'll reciprocate, ask a little bit of information about you, and that can get the conversation going. One thing I'm trying to do with this method too is not stay too long. So I'm trying to get their information and then keep going. Because my reasoning is that they might not want to talk to me unless that one girl, she started talking to me for a while and it seemed like it was hitting off, so I stayed. But if it seems like they're keeping it brief, it goes back to always leave while you're still welcome. Don't overstay your welcome. So if you keep the interaction fairly brief and now you have their contact information, hopefully they like you, maybe you buy them a drink or something, and that will set up the stage then to hopefully go out again. And it seems to, so far from what I'm experiencing, it seems to work. So I'll keep trying it and hopefully it'll come in handy to someone else too. But I'll keep trying it and keep updates on how this is going. But so far, I think I might have found the formula and it seems to be going well.